to okay.
Dr. Ishad,
Yes.
I will fail my duty if I don't share with the audience about the Honorable Professor Sameer Khan. Professor Sameer Khan, let me tell you, audience, that Professor Sameer Khan is a very great, very big researcher. And let me tell you that I used to read his research papers when I was a research scholar, in fact. We actually, he has done a lot of work. He was associated with Sri Ram Center of Industrial Relations. So by virtue of that, because he is from HR areas, as my research is also from HR. So by virtue of that research interest, we did not meet earlier. But I used to read his research work published in the Indian Journal of Industrial Relations, published from the Sri Ram Center of Industrial Relations. And that time, their journals published from Sri Ram Center of Industrial Relations was a very big journal, in fact. And getting paper published in journal was a miracle, actually. So Professor Sami was a regular author of that journal. Moreover, he has been engaged in a number of HR related activities. His core area is human resource management. And I must tell you all that he has done, the theme that we have chosen is basically in the light of the research work done by him, because he has done a lot of work in the career counseling and career development and career planning. So before we go for the next part, I will request Professor Sami, because sir, you started the session. I would like to start. I would like to convey that we want to hear from you about the opportunities which are available for the female, because we have a lot of female attending our sessions. So I request you to please throw some light on the opportunities that are likely to come up, or some possibilities which they can avail in their near future. Welcome, sir, Professor Sami Khan.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. Little I'm feeling the big word for me, little load for me to carry and justify. But anyway, nice word, Dr. Nawab. Just to, like most of us here, I just want a few words and all, career for women or for anybody, am I right? Of course, women, like I said in the beginning, they will have more brunt, and they're already having, because I was just reading, if you look at any sector and all, I was just collecting data a few months back. I was saying, if you look at the health sector, education sector, service sector in US, all women. Same story here, same in India. So it is not going to be. So those are the sectors we all know where women are employed, because they are more marginalized. And the other reason is why women work, most of the situation is our societal condition, right? So in new scenario, if you look at the organized women, otherwise employment, challenges overall, like as a participant also, I got some question I was answering there. Of course, the patriarchal society and all, it is not going to change and all. We start crying and all. It is not going to, the society, it had its evolves at time, it is taking shape and all. And there are very many variables in that case. But the most important issue is how we, most of the people are talking about. So if you look at how COVID-19, the challenges in present scenario, and especially for career challenges and all, for in general, but most in women, we have to focus. Like there is a labor turnover happening. We all know there is a workforce, downsizing going on, training and development, new skill coming, work from home, IT, digital, artificial intelligence. So these are the area. Now the question will be asked, okay, how many women there, right? So these are the area where women are employed, especially in a STEM stream, how many? So those are the challenges, especially for younger generation, where they can look into their career and all. Other issues happening with motivation, sustaining, like employee engagement, what Dr. Ishad was saying. This is hard time for, believe me, for everybody to sustain. And it is double, when you talk about women, because they have to deal with the family issue, they have to take care of the family, at the same time career. So those are the role conflict. We have been talking about work-life balances and other issues. But these challenges becomes more pronounced in case of women. And I will, this economic forum, they suggested 5 issues to deal with COVID challenges for every employees. And women, in case we have to focus, we have to identify, prioritize. First is reskilling and upskilling. So this is the one area where we talk about. The other area is supporting the job of tomorrow. So you have to identify it. It is just to say and very fancy to discuss here, but it has to be done. The homework has to be done. What exactly, those are the agencies. So it is all stakeholder. It is not, you can say only the researchers or activists and all, but rather than all stakeholders. I mean, has to play the role. So they have to identify it, and they, especially in women case as well. And then they have to identify what are the area where we can, possibly we can redeploy or re-employ. This is the third area. Then fourth, they are identifying as re-evaluating essential work and improving the quality of job. So this is the fourth topic that they're talking about. And resetting, putting the reset button to education, skill and job system in post-pandemic society. So this is happening. Society is in many, there are a lot of ideas emerging, but these are also talking about how education skills and jobs are going to emerge in post-COVID scenarios. So they say we have to reset button all. Career challenges are huge, we all know, but in general, it is equally for men and women. The attitude, you have to be positive. I know the challenges. So I just say for younger generation, some of the question I'm saying, I will talk about attitude is very important, and nothing can stop. So working women in that case, and that's why they have come so far. I told you the story here, the kind of struggle and all, and this is all good story here. In India also, you'll find despite all these, the women visibility has gone up, and everywhere you're saying, just now we read, okay, in the military also the top position they can go up. So changes are happening. Of course, 1920 women started vote in US, am I right? Just 1920. Still we are looking for a women prime minister. India has president, and India we have prime minister. Even country like Pakistan, we had women prime minister. So this is the positive attitude, which I will just talk about few things, and I will say, there are challenges, there are negative environment, and also you have to avoid those people, habits, things, and all those, where you can tell yourself, So most important issue is believing in yourself for everybody. And in case of women and all, there is a young woman who was asking question, considering things from very angle, and don't give up, don't give in. The most important thing is family and friends. Though I know the family violence has also gone up, but it's still it is the family. Most of the women story we have seen and all. And I see family is the best thing happening too. So family or friends are hidden treasure, even for working women. Most of the successful women, behind we find there is a men. So similarly, like behind men, if I say why I reached here so far, believe me, there is a women. Which is, I think, otherwise it was not possible to reach me. What I have achieved little in my life, starting from very, you can say, the kind of the background I had, and Alhamdulillah, I say. But you need people. So that support system is very important. Whatever kind of a structure within patriarchal society, and also family and friends are more, and most important thing is most of the women who are going to pursue, especially younger ones, the students who are here, you have to hang on your dreams. So never give up, hang on your dreams. And most important thing, ignore those who will discourage you. So you have to be very positive and all, and just do it. What is the Nike saying? I'm not advertising, I'm not paid by them, but that is true and all. So you have to keep on trying. Most important thing, love for your first. Most of the sacrifice is the element. In fact, nothing has, our prophet, I was just saying, the respect of women and all. To say who you love you most, right? So the prophet says for mother 3 times, and when came father, he said 4th time. So you can see, even the love women is highly, this is the prophet saying. And that's why in our society as well, in Middle East society, I was just reading one paper on Wasta. Wasta is some of people who will be available, that is the family connection and all. And the support. So most of the women who are moving up, or they are visible. So the family support and family connection is the positive Wasta I'm talking. It is a big topic, big HR issue, and a lot of research emerging. Earlier people not used to talk about this, but comparatively now they are talking about that. So in a positive sense, they are pushed by family, their friends, husband, and all people around them, and they make them successful. So this is very important, is family and friend, which I'm talking about. And there are 2 things and all also, like I said, love yourself first. So you have to hang on your dream. You have to have developed. So sacrifice is good, but you have to see, where is the thin line? So not to mostly in our society and all. So you have to take care of your health, and of course sustain, like we talk about for everybody and all. And to be very ethical and all, this is also very important. without any bias and all. I'm saying that sometimes women are like that. That two women, they can't be, they will talk, and also all kind of like, those ethical standard for everybody and all. So it is not, it is gender neutral, I'm saying, but always strike a fair deal. That's the open your eyes, see things are really are, and quitter never win. Practice makes you perfect. So these are the basic fundamental attitude, you can say, where it will pep up your positive thinking. Zero in, or the Z is for zero in your target. So I just few things, but the most important thing I feel for anybody and all, and women as well. We talk about CIS syndrome. I talk about always. So there is somewhere I read like, C is the CIA, nothing to do with US. So C is the complacency. You have to do it. So never, tomorrow never comes. Like here in Saudi culture, we say bukra. So bukra means tomorrow never comes. So complacency is the number one enemy for everybody, and it is for all of us. Ignorance. The I is for ignorance, knowledge. It is all about knowledge and education, like I'm just talking about. The impact is happening in our part of the world because women are educated slowly. So that glass ceiling will go and slowly go. Of course, you need that environment. So, so ignorance is the most important thing. Women are in India also, their education is going up, and all sort of education. In West, what has happened? My son was when in US he was doing. So I used to ask him the question, how many women in like, your faculty of engineering? He was computer science. He say out of 300, maybe 5 or 6 women. I mean, so and that representation has to go up. So I don't know. I mean, there are many stakeholders right from. So they have to participate. That they will reflect. So then that will be, you can say, pool have to be developed, more participation and all, because those are the area hot potato. I'm right. So those areas into science, technology, especially. So India is doing very well and all, and many women are doing, but we need to basically empower. That's why I say education. So ignorance. And the A is very important, which women are really, I mean, most of the women, they lack less, men have more arrogance. That is the enemy number one. So you have to shed your arrogance. It is equally for gender women and all, especially successful women and all. So once you go up and all, and then you just don't look into, you just become more self-centered and all. And sometimes people are ignorance and that double, they are arrogance as well. So sometimes it is very dangerous proposition, right? Because sometimes they don't know that they don't know. He doesn't know that he or she doesn't know that she doesn't know, or he doesn't know that he doesn't know. So that knowledge, complacency, ignorance, and arrogance, these are three for all of us, and especially for men, I'll say the education and all. And that you create like, I have worked with beautiful women in terms of competency and all, right from BHU when I did my PhD. My colleague Ranjana, she just was the head of history department and all. She was center for women studies. She was director for quite some time. And most of the I see huge. I mean, I learned a lot from her. She was in Delhi Miranda House and wonderful. I mean, Lady Arvind College graduate. And even when I was Shriram Center, I worked. There was Rama Joshi. Yes, I was her paper on women. He was editor of Indian Journal of Industrial Relations. Am I right? I learned a lot from Ramaji. So what I'm saying, everywhere you will find people other than professionally, I mean, who are successful women and all. So for women, the key issue is how you sustain, find out that environment, and overall the stakeholders which are there, especially those institutions, have to play important role. So how you retool those skill, up-skill those in this is the time for challenges and all. And of course, you have to have, take care of and in terms of creating those. So those sensitive, gender sensitive has to be there. When job is to be reskill on new job has to be created post-pandemic. So that's what Beena Agrawal is saying. I just read on United Nations University website. She teaches at Manchester, and she's one of the great women author in India. She's one of the Beena Agrawal big name in women studies in India. So she was talking about that when we create those opportunity and retooling and all, then you have to, from gender perspective, you have to sensitize. And that's why from the very beginning, 1974, when Towards Equality report came on women, they said to break the women. So not to look at the data as abstract and all, rather than put in male, female, so that you can see the differentiation and you can see the more, any problem as a sociologist, right? If you look at the absolute data, it doesn't tell you. But the moment you go into, that's why why it is happening, then you go into the problem and you can fix the problem. So if that was, I will take leave, and I hope, any specific question.
Great, sir. Before I hand over the dice to Dr. Irshad Faridhi to take care of the question answer session, because we have some queries from some of the attendees. So before that, I would like to say 2-3 words, sir, because you made me nostalgic today when you talked about the Rama Joshi, because I also was his reader. I used to read a lot of papers written by her. And you also made me nostalgic when you talked about the Bukra and Vasta, 2 words we used to hear in Saudi Arabia invariably. So, but one question before the question answer session starts. One question, sir, is from me. You mentioned in this discussion that behind every successful man, there is a woman. I would like to know, because for the last 1.5 hours, we are just busy in academic activities. So just for fun, I asked you one question, sir. Who is behind every successful woman?
Successful women, you mean?
You said that behind every, we all say that behind every successful man, there is a woman.
Behind me?
But I asked one question. Who is behind every successful woman?
Successful women, am I right?
Yeah.
Of course, men. There are many men behind, because if you, that's why.
Sir, which man, sir? Which man?
It can be father, it can be husband.
No, sir. No, sir. I have very good answer to this question. A man, of course, there is a man behind every successful woman, but the man is who always says ladies first.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now I hand over to Dr. Irshad Faridhi to take care of the chat messages which have come from the attendees, so that we conclude the session at earliest.
Yeah.
I now want to say something.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Nawab. So I'm looking at the chat box. So let me see the Q&A. Unfortunately, Sarah, she had to leave, so she apologized for that.
You will answer on her behalf, I believe.
Yeah, I can. So I see the question and answer session. There's a question from Dr. Muhammad Janghi Ali. He asked respected panelists, how can women is facing the career challenges in higher education in India? So, why only career challenges in higher education? Because of the constraint of time, let's say, what are our food of thoughts for what we are supposed to do today in real time for career improvement and development or career enrichment for especially women? So we can think from a global perspective as well as we can think from the country-based regional perspective. So anyone wants to start up? Like Anna, you want to say something? Yes, yeah. Please, Anna. Yeah, go ahead.
Of course, it is the opposite. Behind every successful man, there's a woman, of course. That I think everyone knows that. And of course, education is really important. Of course, it's about expectations in yourself and the surroundings. And I think mostly men in the world needs to see the value of women. Women can do much, of course. They could take this education. They could demand the jobs that men gets. And they could look the other side and just move forward like men do. But did you know that if you have like 50% in the border, you can increase the profit at a company so much that you, I don't know, but it's about the group, the dynamic and the harmony. And I think everything gets more fun with ladies included and more effective, I would say. So I have a question for you all, guys. How does your border looks like at the universities and as the ambassadors for the ladies entering the world and entering important positions in life? How do you manage your universities and working places? Do you have women in the border?
Yes, why not? Yeah. It's almost it's a culmination of both women and men for the, and definitely it's we look forward for working together. You know, it's they complement each other very well, and it has been proven, and it's from the HRM perspective, it's the servant leadership. Perhaps the personality reflects more of a women gender, so it helps. It improves upon it. So, what do you think, Professor Sami, about it? What's your thought about it?
But I'm really impressed with Anna's things, what she's doing. I read on the website, BBC website, and otherwise as well. It takes great challenge, and what she's referring, I can understand. So any like, you know, I told you worldwide, if you look senior management, women are just cut 20%. But 20% is, if you look at from where we have come, from 4% to now we have reached. So of course, somewhere we have reached. But it doesn't ensure if you reach to the top and those, if your representation means things become very good. Most important thing, if you look at for women, if you try to look at the women employees are, like I say, my associate or colleague or as a head, my supervisor was a woman, my PhD. And she has given me tough time. Most of my people have said she's a separated. Well, the whole Indian Women Act, you said, look, Women Studies Group, no. Jet Li, fast Professor Jet Li, everybody knows in India. So she was a very high, tough, she was a Fulbright scholar, and she was a very tough taskmaster. So you're individual, but women are seen as an epitome of, you can say, softer skills. They have those, they are not, say, like in men case and all. If you look at the personality dimension, which we was talking about, servant leadership or otherwise also. So the team working, like you're saying, and you can leverage. So they are better team player, because if you try to look at, there are big 5 personality theories. We talk about, how women are like basically a team player, how good you are conscientious. So women are much better, I always say. They are better organized. They are more responsible. So those traits, those qualities and all are very important. There is one of the, challenges, which is in tough moments. So it is all about training since childhood, how they have been trained. So neuroticism or a stress moment, even they take nicely. Like we have seen here, and most of the time I drive personally from Shahina, my wife, I'm right. Most of the time when I'm done doing this, she is always at my back to give me strength. And I see women are, the real source of compassion, love, kindness. So they are the epitome. That's the mother nature, right? She's saying it takes into everything and all. And in our society, is a different, of course, sacrifice. It goes to other level. So any extreme is not good. In the West, it has gone to other extreme. That movement, that's why this has little disarray. And some of those even men active people who has to support of women movement, they are talking about because diversity is good, but at the same time, it should include everyone and all. So that should be taken. So diversity management is the big issue. Especially for our part, it is happening now in India and all. But it should take care of, like every organization we learn, similarly with the any countries, we talk about strategic objectives and then we look into the structure, what we create. So if you have a structure system in place, then they can deliver those business strategy or plans of the government and all. So any women movement or any women issues and all, you have to create like that's why saying involving a stakeholder and all is very important issue. Similarly here we have we have very good professors, women, especially in my universities. Though we have of course the campus here in most of Saudi Arabia or Middle East, you will find we have separate campuses. But I teach some of the women online and we have excellent. Most of the time the homework returning by the girls are much better in quality, less of the plagiarism. And they are more on time, because when I taught performance management system one semester, so that is what we call, they are completely more disciplined, and I say team working and all, they are more responsible. That's why they complete more higher education in our part of the world. these are the qualities which will take them. But of course, any society, like I say, a family can, like equally, there are certain where the men has to be behind them, right? So it is not, I can say, what nature has created, but respect for women is the most important thing for any society and all, but not as something you are giving as a charity and all. They have every right. If we are saying men and women and all something, like we are not giving men, like, because some of the women may get different. No, I'm equal. Why you are telling me women first and all? They have every right and their individuality to place themselves at equal pedestal. So that's the key issue to understand and appreciate by the people. And that's the key issue. Respect is the key issue. At workplace, any individual and all. So every woman have the right to get respected and his place which she deserved, because it's knowledge, his competencies, and whatever the quality she has got. And every individual, we should equip ourselves, and then we can make more sustainable society, less of conflict, either the marriage or family or at workplace and all happening, less of the conflict and more giving, especially in COVID scenario and all. So if you become more giving, less giving, and we are talking about sustainable society, then it is less of materialistic and more of the human dimension and all. So if we can make a good balance of these, then the life for men and women, all of us, will become more meaningful, and you will enjoy. We all complement each other. So we are, we can't say, most of the corporates or otherwise as well, we need all, like there are certain things and where you need them, right? So, but you have to have where you need problem, you have to look from perspective. So gender, you have to take into, factor into those reason and on and look into, but don't only look gender and all. So you look into reason and then find out what exactly, how we can make a workplace better and all. So that's my approach, what I have learned, and is still learning women's studies and always open to new ideas. Thank you very much.
We have a question from Muhammad Saad Zafar, and I think this question takes a lot of issues. He says,